Hello, friends. Welcome to the Jerry and Skeeter podcast, where we talk about everything and anything one. If you enjoyed the podcast, feel free to subscribe. Now let's begin with today's topic.
Spooky Sessions, Part 4. I had to get closer to my mic to make sure it picked it up. That was for you, Jerry. You said mine was extra last time, so.
I appreciate your ability to tone yourself down. Really well done. You're a very diverse personality.
Before we go into cups today, I would like to address something.
How I ruined you.
This whole series of podcasts is straight up cursed. You can't tell me wrong. I literally editing these episodes, I've literally run into like so many problems, like one after the other. But it's fine. We're making it through. Is this our last? No, we have two more.
No, we have one more.
This one and one more.
One more.
So we had two more. It's fine. I had to edit three
fine.
more.
I figured out my shit, so like 80% of your issues are gonna be gone.
Yeah, hopefully. But
and Mercury's not net retrograde. She only got one more week, so we're good.
I was gonna say she's still got a whole week of editing ahead of me.
Oh,
I would like to state.
Why did you guys just assume Mercury's gender? First of all, you bitches.
I don't know, because I
Is
call
there,
her a
like, an
bitch all the
actual
time. I
thing?
guess guys could be bitches too.
Guys are always
Guys
bitches.
are the
They live
biggest
and breathe
bitches.
bitch.
What do you mean?
Have you ever seen your husband sick? I'm
Actually,
not
he
married,
doesn't man cold
so
at
I don't-
all. I'm the man cold bitch. He doesn't.
Oh.
He like he'll like have like a 102-degree temperature and go to work. Like, dude's insane. I don't get it.
But would you
Meanwhile-
like?
What?
Nothing. I was just gonna interrupt the middle of your sentence with the beginning of mine.
What was the beginning of your sentence? Because it was probably more important.
I thought that your sentence was ending, so I was gonna ask Gita if she wanted to like tell us what happened.
Oh, right. That's
About the
Go ahead.
podcast or
Yeah, what the fuck happened?
well, just audio issues. Like okay. So like the first episode, I edited it, I finished it. And I was trying to, because we have a lot of moments in our podcast where we get off topic and go on tangents and, you know, talk about poop. It's weird. Just ignore that part. But
Listen, I drink a lot of coffee. I'm gonna need you to not judge me and my bowel movements.
So I cut out all of those parts and I put them at the end of the section that I'm working on so that I can cut those and move them to a separate project labeled bloopers that will be a separate video at the end of all this, because there's already 10 minutes of footage from 2 episodes of podcasts for bloopers.
Sure, I don't know what you're talking about.
So when I was trying to figure out how to move the bloopers to a different thingy, I accidentally deleted all the media files in the project, so it like blanked out, and I instantly started bawling because I was literally about to post it on YouTube and it just like all disappeared. Luckily, I was able to figure out to restore the project to the previous save or whatever. So, and I figured out how to separate the bloopers. The next episode that just came out on Friday, it was a lot of audio issue. It sounded like Noak had jumped into a pool with her microphone to record the session.
It's actually how I
Wait.
recorded it.
Have you ever seen the Mr. Beast video where he's like underwater for 24 hours?
I don't think
He
that's...
has like the tub. That's what it sounded like.
But yeah, that's
Well,
exactly...
if you watched the last podcast, you know exactly what we're talking about because it's
So what had
unavoidably there.
happened was I added 2 sources. I added a new mic one and I had my old mic one. So I had my 2 audio sources together. So they were literally like this. They were like barely on top of each other, but just a little bit not.
Yeah, and...
Plus, I forgot to mute you guys. So you
yeah,
heard.
so I had to literally go through Jess's audio separately and edit out all the parts that Jerry and I were talking so that it wouldn't sound echoey for us too.
They're
This
never
is the
gonna invite
project that
me.
you deleted on accident.
No, this is the second project. The first project I
okay.
deleted. The second
Okay.
project was all the audio issues. There was at one point I even sent it to Jerry to try and fix the audio, to send it back to me to put it in the video. It was a hot mess. So I'm praying and hoping that this next video that I edit goes smoothly. I really need it to, because I'm exhausted.
Listen, if it doesn't go smooth, just send all the files to me and be like, bitch, I can't
Do it anymore.
But I
I'm
can.
throwing in the towel.
They're never gonna invite me back. Anyway, Mugs.
Mugs! Let's go!
Jess, you go first.
Okay. I didn't have time to rinse it out, so now I'm worried that things might be floating in it. But it's one of the new ones that I got. You can't even see what it says. Damn it! It says Wingardium Leviosa on it.
Aww.
And it has a little. It's a little feather as a
that's
handle.
cute.
That is cute.
And you can just see my really lovely finger.
All over it.
And your ring light.
Like it actually has things
ring
going
light.
on. Oh, I could
Finger
try playing
painting.
it. It's cute. I like it.
It's so cute.
Did you just say there could be things floating in it and then take a
yeah.
sip? I admire you more in this moment than I ever have.
How you got a immune system, isn't it?
Skeeter, would you like to go next?
Oh yes!
Oh, look,
Another
another
glorious morning.
It makes me sick.
Makes me sick.
Be sick. I was wearing a Hocus Pocus shirt earlier.
I was so
Yeah,
excited
God,
when I
yeah,
saw
you
this. I
were.
had to get this.
Yes, I love it.
I feel like just this mug segment is just gonna show the difference between your guys' personality versus mine.
Oh no.
So what's your mug, Jerry?
Have a nice day.
Oh my.
So if that doesn't explain to you the
I mean-
Slitherpuff relationships, I don't know what will.
Honestly, I was hoping to get like a mug or something today because we were planning on going to Spirit Halloween afterwards. They didn't come back to our area this year.
Really?
Yeah,
That's
which
sad.
is odd because when we went to go get Keenan a costume last year, we did it last minute, so everything was sold out. Like the store was completely empty. So
Yeah.
it's like, why didn't you
can't
come
wait.
back? So we had to go to
I
Walmart.
can't wait.
Walmart.
Walmart
Pretty
has some
em-
good stuff though.
It was good stuff, but it was like half empty too. So
Yeah. Eh.
it's fine.
Or was it half full? That is the question.
That is the
All right.
question.
I'm ready to hear some fucking stories, dude.
Spooky
Alright,
stories.
I had a dream about this. It was the weirdest fucking dream. Real quick, my parents are divorced. My mom doesn't like my stepmom because my stepmom married my dad like the day after their divorce. Like there was shady stuff going on there.
Well, they're from Virginia,
this
and in
was the
Virginia,
dream?
you have to be separated for at least a year before you
A
can
year.
get divorced.
But my dad wanted it earlier, so my mom was like, "Fine, I'll give it to you as long as you admit to adultery," and he did. So they weren't separated for a full year. I have some childhood trauma shit. Anyways, the day after they signed, he got married. So yeah.
And this
Anyway,
was a dream?
no,
No, this is real life.
This is the dream. And I was just explaining that to explain how weird this dream was.
Okay.
We all moved into a house together. But it was like the Winchester Mystery House. So like you would walk around a corner and then there would be like a playground in the middle of the room. And then you'd walk around another corner and it was like a slide. And then there was a kitchen and it was just like
Squid Game type shit.
oh maybe. Yes, that's Tim.
Hello, Dan. Welcome to the podcast.
He's sitting right there. Not Jerry, but you know.
Shut your cake hole.
But yeah, so it was really weird. And that was my dream. And it was like Winchester because I kept discovering rooms. That's kind of what the house is about. So I was also dreaming
That's
about
so weird.
That is
really. And we were all living together, like my step brothers and sister. We were all there, and like I don't really know them, but they were there. It was weird.
It's because of Mercury.
No, that's not a Mercury thing. See, if you're gonna mock it, you need to mock it like, you know.
Mercury.
I was gonna give you another example, but it's not worth it. You don't believe yet. You will.
I believe.
One day.
I believe
I know.
I can fly.
Well, it'll get Jerry too. All right, the Winchester Mystery House. I feel like everyone knows about this, but I wanted to do some more research. I found out stuff that I didn't know. So hopefully I can teach you guys some stuff too. It's an architectural wonder and a historic landmark in San Jose, California, that was once a personal residence of Sarah Lockwood Pardee Winchester. Sarah Lockwood was her maiden name. Winchester, she married into the Winchester fortune. She was the widow of William Wirt Winchester and the heiress to a large portion of the Winchester repeating arms fortune. The Winchester is the big rifles.
I mean,
they are the
not gonna lie, I'm only thinking about Supernatural. So.
I never watched Supernatural.
I know it's a gun, but like at the same time, like Dean, hello.
It's actually was known as the gun that won the West because it murdered so many people. Like it was the Cowboys' gun. So like, and then Native Americans would use it too. So it just literally, that gun was responsible for a lot of death. So kind of getting ahead of myself there. So the Winchester Mystery House has captured popular imagination. Mythbusters, Ghost Adventures, which is who I watched, which is the worst thing to watch right before bed. And Ghost Brothers, also watch them. Have you guys ever seen Ghost Brothers?
They're amazing.
Oh my god, they are on Discovery Plus. They're so funny. They're so funny.
They're amazing.
Remember that Ouija board Snapchat that I sent you of like the three guys and the one guy's like, oh hell no, like
that's Ghost Brothers.
That's Ghost Brothers.
Oh, okay. They're so funny.
They're so funny.
So go ahead.
I was just gonna tell you about the like in their first season. That's not on Discovery Plus. There was like they were at this house and it was supposed to be like a promiscuous ghost. And so the one guy gets like into his boxers and like laying on the couch and he's like flirting to try and get the ghost to react.
Yeah, no, that sounds on brand. Yes.
Oh, I have completely different sentence to say. Has nothing to do with what we're talking about. My mom said she likes the podcast.
Yeah, you sent me a message.
Yeah, I didn't tell Jess though.
Oh. No, that was honest reaction. That's awesome.
That is awesome.
I'm glad.
Hi, Mom.
Hi, Jerry's mom. So all three of those have produced programs about this house. Actually, Ghost Adventures did their first one, and they ended up leaving the shoot early because they had all these crazy experiences. They went back and still had like crazy experiences.
Well, I don't know about Ghost Adventures, like Zach Baggett. Like they're kind of like.
Tim laughs. He watches it as it's like a comedy. Honestly, he like sits there and laughs the entire time. I'm like,
you want to hang out with him?
It could be real. No, I think that's what I'm saying. I feel like if we went ghost adventuring and you and Tim were there, you guys would just be mocking everything.
Yeah, because I watch Ghost Adventures not to watch serious paranormal shows. I watch it to be entertained because there's a lot saying that they're not very accurate in their depictions of what's happening there.
Yeah, well, it's for entertainment purposes.
Yeah.
Like I can't imagine one person being possessed by so many people at different like locations and stuff.
Yeah. Anyway, it's made its spectacular debut with the horror film Winchester, which also when I was trying to do a lot of research on this and I wanted to find like actual, walkthroughs, it was really hard to get around that because there's a movie. The film tells a fictional version of the story behind the mansion, but many people believe that the truth is far stranger than fiction. So story begins, tragedy befell Sarah when her infant daughter died of a childhood illness. And then a few years later, her husband died from tuberculosis. After her husband's death in 1801, Sarah Winchester inherited more than $20.5 million. which is equivalent in 2020 to $550 million. She also received nearly 50% of ownership of Winchester Repeating Arms Company, giving her a monthly income of roughly $1,000 per day, equivalent to $27,000 a day in 2020. Can you imagine?
Is that what I make?
A day.
Damn, if I
what I
had
make
that
in a
much
year.
money, I would keep making my house fucking a puzzle too.
These inheritances gave her a tremendous amount of wealth, which she used to fund the ongoing construction. So after both her daughter and her husband passed away, she was a sole recipient for this inheritance. So she went to go see a psychic. She was worried about her bad luck. She's lonely. First her daughter died, then her husband died. What's going on? What's wrong with me? The medium told her, while supposedly channeling her late husband, that she had to leave her home in New Haven. I believe it was in Connecticut.
New Haven's in Connecticut.
And travel west, where she must continuously build a home for herself to appease the spirits of the people who had fallen victim to the Winchester rifles, or they would haunt her and her extended family for the rest of their lives.
Well, shit.
Yeah. So this I was watching Ghost Brothers, like, oh man, she tricked her. Like she like messed with her. I can't believe she fell for that. But another theory is that she would build all this plan to run away from the spirits. I mean, and we'll go into this later, but she made like puzzles within her house that only she knew of so that she could run. And like she did things to divert spirits. So like people really thought she was scared.
Like they can't just
Definitely
go
doesn't sound
through
like a mental
walls
health
or
break.
something.
Not in this house.
The magical house.
Is there salt in the wallpaper?
Might be.
So told her to build the house, Skeeter. It's a magical house.
So you have to do what the psychic
wonder.
says. Can you imagine? Okay, shortly after, Sarah left their home in New Haven, Connecticut, moved out west to San Jose, California. Although it is possible that she was simply seeking a change of location and a hobby during her lengthy depression, some sources do say that Winchester did believe her family fortune were haunted, so that's what led her to build this amazing house, crazy house that would save her soul. So in 1884, she bought an 8-room farmhouse, and began what could only be described as the world's largest home renovation, stopping only when Sarah passed away September 5th, 1922. So that's like 40 years of construction.
Damn.
That doesn't sound
Carpenters were
appetizing.
hired and worked on the house night and day, 24 hours a day. Literally, construction never stopped. They had people there 24 hours
How do
a
you
day.
like sleep through that and shit?
I'm just picturing Mary Winchester just being like, the guys are taking like their lunch break or some shit, and she just comes in just like bad shit crazy, just like,
Why did you
you
stop?
have to keep building. You have to keep building.
The spirits will come for us.
They're coming.
Maybe they did. No.
Put it past her, honestly.
You made me lose my train of thought. Okay, so it started as an 8-room house until it became a 7-story mansion. Also, she was an architect. She didn't really have architect background, but she's brilliant. I'll go into that a little later, but she had like a tinkerer's mind. She actually created a lot of things. She was really smart, and so she actually drew out all of her plans herself. And they were supposed to have like meaning behind them. This did lead her to adding onto the building in haphazard fashion, though. Like I think she would have an idea for a room and kind of stick it there, but then have to make stairs to it. It's really crazy. The home contains numerous oddities, such as doors and stairs that literally go nowhere. One door opens out to the outside, second or third floor, just opens up. Multiple doors go to nowhere. And many accounts attribute these oddities to her belief in ghosts. Like she literally tried to trick them. Environmental psychologists have theorized that the odd layout itself contributes to the feeling that the house may be haunted today, because you can get lost in the house so easily. So, before the 1906 earthquake that rocked San Jose, California, the house had been 7 stories high, and carpenters may have were then brought in to repair the damages that were caused by that quake. Today, it is only 4 stories. So I think it literally got shut down, so then they had to repair. Some of the damages are still there because she literally just kept building in other places. But I think they learned from building it so high. They're like, oh yeah, we live in an earthquake area. We should just expand this way. So they did. The house is predominantly made of redwood, but Miss Winchester preferred as she did prefer the wood. However, she hated the color of it, so she literally painted over it. She demanded that a fox grain and stain was applied, so almost all of the wood in the home is covered. Approximately 20,500 U.S. gallons of paint were required to paint the house.
Why would you
request that redwood, but then hate the color of it?
Yeah. What?
I mean, I don't think she was quite sane to begin with.
Oh, really?
You think?
Yeah. But this kind of goes to like her genius, her weird genius. The home itself is built using a floating foundation. It's believed to have saved the total collapse. So she built it on a floating foundation, knowing that earthquakes were. But got rid of like 3 stories. Yes, ma'am.
This recruit respectfully requests to interrupt.
Yes.
Okay.
I didn't like that though. You could just say.
I didn't like it either. It made me feel icky.
I didn't like that.
So you were talking about like the door that opens up on like the 2nd or 3rd floor, and she's like trying to trick the ghosts, and I'm just picturing like a group of ghosts just like running through, like playing tag, and one of them just like, oh, Dave! Oh shit! Don't go through that door.
Like there's stairs that lead to nowhere, which I also included a picture of.
That was insane. That one staircase that just like goes into the ceiling.
Yeah, well, so ghost adventurers think it's a plane. So like they think it's like a paranormal plane where ghosts can actually go through, and it was like one of their hottest spots when they did the thing. I don't know about that, but yeah, it was like it was said that she could see like the spiritual planes and stuff, so she knew where to build like the crossroads. But yeah, it's weird because like if you look at it, you can actually see the one, and it's a mirror that angles up, and then the staircase is a ceiling. It's really like odd. Anyway, okay, yeah. So the type of construction, the floating foundation allows the home to shift freely, as it's not completely attached to its brick base. So like she built it on a floating foundation, saved the majority of the house, but like still lost 3 stories. But anyway,
so now it's only 4 stories high.
So now it's only 4 stories high.
Okay.
It was 7. It is well known to everyone, I didn't know this, that she liked to sleep in different rooms every night to confuse the spirits. And there was only 1 working toilet in the Winchester, even though there were 13 bathrooms in the house. So all the other restrooms were used as decoys to confuse spirits as well. Yes, Jerry.
The stairs that go nowhere.
Okay.
Those had potentially led to the other 3 floors that were, I don't know, up.
Guess it's possible, depending on what part of the house it's in.
It's busted.
I should have watched the Ghostbusters, whatever it was. The Mythbusters, to see if they like actually busted it. Yeah, maybe.
Is Mythbusters on Discovery Plus?
Probably. I just searched Winchester and I found those too. So
can I get that login information though?
Yeah. I'll make you a profile too. I made Skeeter a profile.
She's a real baby.
So the home's conveniences were where? Oh yeah. So sorry, I keep losing my train of thought. I don't know why. Okay, so As weird as things were in the house, there were some really cool things in the house as well. This included a steam and forced air heating that was really unknown at the time. Modern indoor toilets. Again, most of them didn't work. Only one did. But it had indoor plumbing, a push-button gas light, and Miss Winchester had her personal and only hot shower from indoor plumbing. And so, really cool because they showed it. It actually came in from the sides. It had like the hot metal pipes on the outside. Not very safe, but she was 4'11", so like she built it to where it would just like hit the top of her head and down. So like it didn't really work for everyone else, but like for her, yeah. Yeah, so you'd have to duck to shower because the pipes would shoot out from the side.
Oh,
but like that was
I have to duck to shower anyway.
Yeah. Like squat and shower.
12 foot, right? Yeah. Damn.
She's a shorty.
Tiny bitch.
Yep, so they were like on the sides of the wall, but that was really nobody had that. So like that's one of her like inventive things that she did, and like
So she
smart,
created
but,
her own shower.
yeah. But she was scared of ghosts. Bad.
And only one bathroom.
I mean, to be fair, you guys are scared of ghosts.
Only
too,
one
so-
working
So
bathroom.
like, wouldn't they catch on that she was only ever going to one bathroom?
I don't have the answers,
Okay.
guys. I just did the research.
All right, Dave. She made you walk out that door on the second floor, right? We're gonna get her this time. Damn it, she slept in another room. Fucking
She
bullshit.
did have a favorite bedroom though, and that was the bedroom she died in. Also, I don't think I actually wrote this down, but it's one of the things I learned last night. She actually had a seance room, and it was reportedly that she would go there every night at midnight, and she would get her plans for the next day from ghosts who would build the house.
Wait, so she's taking advice from the ghost that she's running from.
That is something I saw on Ghost Adventures last night, so I didn't write it down in my notes, but I just wanted to let you guys know that's apparently where she got. I don't know if I believe that, but she would do seances every night at midnight and get her plan.
Yeah, I think this wall in the south could use a couple of sconces.
I mean, that's exactly what Ghost Brothers said, so that's funny. Yo, can we?
Just
They were
write
like,
this down.
can we get her to build a veranda? Yeah, that'd be really cool. Yeah, let's tell her to build a veranda next. I'm like, let's go there. Anyway, there were also 3 elevators, including an Otis electric elevator, which is like,
Oh, wow.
yeah, one of which was powered by a rare horizontal hydraulic elevator piston. Most elevator pistons are vertical to save space, but Miss Winchester preferred the improved functionality of the horizontal configuration. Like, she knew what that was and the difference, and like she was able to plan for it. Just really
Or
smart.
she just wanted to show off her money dollars.
There are more than 2,000 doors in the
A lot of doors.
yeah, and they don't all lead to where you think you would expect them to lead. One opens to a sheer 50-foot drop to the outdoor garden, so the one that I talked about earlier.
Dave.
If you step through another, you'll land 8 feet below in a kitchen sink.
Bath time.
Some of the staircases in this home are truly particular. Instead of taking you to another floor, they lead you right into a ceiling. So the ceiling one. There's a vast network of secret passages twisting throughout the property as well. One cabinet door opens to a hive of 30 additional rooms.
I just want to go to the house to like run through it, like just see
They have
the
tours.
madness. Like
They have tours.
Don't run. You're gonna go through and land up in a sink.
It's true.
Or dead. I don't know.
Yeah, no, they definitely have tours, and they have, for the dangerous ones, they have them like roped off so you don't go out of them. But yeah, I looked, they do have tours. It looks
Yeah, because I've always listened
Anyway.
to boundaries.
Miss Winchester never skipped on many adornments that she believed contributed to the architectural beauty. Many of the stained glass windows were created by Pacific American Decorative Company. Some were designed specifically for her, and others by her, including a spiderweb window. She loved spiderwebs. She loved, I believe it was the number 13. So that's like a really repetitious thing all throughout the house. And then, okay, the spider web window that featured her favorite web design, and the repetition in the number 3. Oh, I just kind of got ahead of myself. Sorry, guys. Another one of her preoccupations, like I said, was. Anyways, just edit that out. That'd be great.
Okay.
This window. So the spider web window was never actually installed, but it exists in this so-called 25,000. They called it the 25,000 storage room, $25,000 storage room, and it was named this way because its contents were originally appraised at the value of $25,000. So she literally paid all this money for this stained glass window that she created and never got it installed. Sat in a window or sat in a storage room.
So did she just have a storage room of like antiques and
stained
stuff?
glass and yeah. It was appraised at $25,000 back then. The value today cannot be guesstimated, but $25,000 would be equivalent to around $387,000 today. But you gotta realize the amount of money that's like those antiques have even gone up. So I
mean, she's making $3 billion a day, so
yeah. A second window was designed by Tiffany himself, so that when sunlight strikes the prismatic crystals, a rainbow is cast across the room. This window was installed in an interior wall in a room with no light exposure, preventing the effect from ever being seen.
I bet he was pissed about that. Mr. Tiffany himself, rolling in his grave, being like, this bitch, she put my glass window in a room with no light. How disrespectful can you be?
Yeah.
Like, I get it, bitch. You're rich. I am too.
But like, come on.
It's just destroying the artistry that I slaved over.
That's so random.
Yeah. It's so sad. Like, it's kind of like she just went crazy.
I feel like maybe he ignored her at a party and she was like, bet. You...
I'm gonna buy your most expensive shit and I'm gonna put it where it can't even be seen.
I'm gonna hire you, I'm gonna make you make a window, and guess what, bitch? I'm gonna put it where there's no light.
So I can't even do what it's supposed to do. Okay, almost done, guys.
Okay.
Today, the home is owned by Winchester Investments, which is a privately held company representing the descendants of John and Mam Brown, who bought the house actually after Winchester died. The home retains unique touches that reflect Mrs. Winchester's belief, and reported preoccupation was warded off. Hold on. Her reported preoccupation. I don't know what that even means. Her reported preoccupation with warding off. Oh, that's what I meant. I wrote this when I was at fever brain. Sorry. Okay, the home retains its unique touches that reflected Miss Winchester's belief and her reported preoccupation with warding off malicious spirits.
Maleficent.
Maleficent. Anyway,
bad spirits.
Bad spirits. Bad.
Very bad. Dave, the bad spirit.
Yeah. Okay, the number 13 and spider web motifs, which carried the spiritual significance for her, occur all through the house. Like, you can count like doorknobs, window seals, like everything has 13. Chandeliers would have 13 candles on them. Like it's like a game when you go visit the house.
Doorknobs?
Bitch, there was 2,000 doors in the house.
And each one had 13 doorknobs.
No, not each one, but if you're walking down a hall, you could have like 13 doorknobs on the doors.
Like
that
13
kind of thing.
doors. Okay.
I was
Right,
like,
not 13 doorknobs.
Very quickly. She had to unlock 13
On
doorknobs.
one door. Oh my god,
Can you
no.
imagine trying to do that? As soon as you let go of one, it twists back into place, and so you go to the next one, but this one's already back in place.
Damn it, stop it.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
This is just where my brain's going.
It was said when she passed away, construction stopped immediately. There are even nails that were still hanging out halfway because they literally stopped. Like,
They were
where
probably
they were
like,
walked out.
finally, this bitch is dead. We can go home.
Yep.
The same construction crew for the entire 40 years.
40
since
years.
she dies, and they're like, we're done.
We're done.
We're done.
We quit.
You shit. We're leaving.
Be out. The biggest question, of course, is why. Why did she continue to make these changes until her death? And subs say that she did believe as soon as she would die. Or hold on, subs say that she believed she would die as soon as the house was declared complete. So that's why she never stopped, because she thought the minute she could stop, she would die. Others say she created a labyrinth to confuse and evade the spirits that follow her. Whatever you believe the reason to be, the mystery house is sure to stay with your mind long after you visit. I mean, I literally had a dream out of it. I understand. It's creepy. So spooky things! Still a lot to go. Spooky things! I forgot I wrote this one. I wrote this last night. I had a fever brain. It's fine.
That's okay. I
ever
rearranged
since
my
Houdini
entire
came-
office from an ADHD high, so I get it.
Sometimes I wish I had ADHD and like was able to take Adderall though. Yeah, but I want Adderall. Like, brain could really.
Let's not get into the abuse of drugs conversation right now. That's for a different podcast.
Sorry, that's another. Anyway, yeah. So as legends pass through the years, there are typically 3 different types of haunting stories conjured from the long hallways of the Stairs Estates. So their different types are intelligent hauntings, residual hauntings, and like shadow figures.
Intelligent hauntings.
Yeah, it's like
Huh?
where so residual hauntings is like where there's like feelings or like a loop playing of a situation that happened.
Oh.
Intelligent hauntings
it-
is when the ghost actually interacts with you. Like you
Like
ask
that?
questions and they answer back,
Oh.
or they interact with toys.
That's actually more like a poltergeist.
Yeah, that's more poltergeist.
I don't fucking know.
Activity,
A
which
ghost is a
poltergeist
ghost.
actually is not really a spirit; it's a person. But
Mm-hmm.
that's we can, yeah, just move along.
Anyway.
it's complicated.
I've obviously done a lot of research into this.
I'm obviously very
like-
interested.
Like what Skeeter said, residual haunting. Usually in this type of haunting, a spiritual playback is stuck on repeat. A moment from the past is played back over and over and over again like a video on loop. These events played back may be traumatic or life-changing to the person who experienced them, or they could just be routine tasks the person may have performed like many a times. So the most like seen one is called the wheelbarrow ghost, aka Clyde. So there's actually a picture of him. He worked on the grounds. He worked on he was a, what did they call him? Like a coal. He worked on like the fireplaces and stuff like that.
Chimney
So
sweep.
he's usually pushing around a wheelbarrow. He wears a boiler hat. He has a beard and he has white overalls. And this is like the one that's most commonly seen.
Okay.
Like,
I'm
to
not
the
even
point
gonna
where-
lie. I'm sorry, I have to interrupt you. I'm not even gonna lie. When I was deciding which name to use, I was gonna go with either Clyde or Dave. When I was talking about the ghosts.
Clyde.
It's so funny.
Clyde. So like even so much so that like visitors will come up and be like, oh yeah, we really like that actor who was like, you know, moseying around and like working on the fireplaces. And they would have it, they're like, there's no actors on the grounds. Like it was Clyde. Like people have seen him not knowing that he was there and have actually seen him like working. And he, like you said, it's not like malevolent.
Malevolent.
That was really hard to say, Mom. But it's not that like there aren't any bad spirits like at the house. They usually are like workers or something.
God, that would suck.
Yeah.
Spend your entire life cleaning up after other people, and then when you die, you just do the same shit.
have to do
but
it
then
again.
it's
So the intelligent haunting, there seems to be like more of a conscious, like exactly what Skeeter is saying. The spirit's trying to interact with the people in the living world. Sometimes it's no more than a gentle tugs on shirt or skirt during tours. But longtime maintenance worker Denny had reported that one morning after entering the water tower, he heard pattering of footsteps above. So he ascended to let the trespasser know that, you know, this 3-story structure is off limits. What are you doing up here? there was no one up there. And like that is the most common. I mean, it's an old house. It's an old house that was hit by a what's the thing called? Not hurricane.
Earthquake.
That one.
Listen, it's been a long week. It's fine.
A long
It's
week.
Sunday. It's technically the first day of the week.
You shut your whore mouth.
It's hit by an earthquake, so things are shifting, things move, but like people are literally hear footsteps, thinking there's somebody around the corner. They'll turn, there's nobody there. Child footsteps are really common. You hear boots. So that's I mean, I think that would be really creepy. Just hearing footsteps and not knowing where they are. And then obviously shadowy figures. You know, take it or leave it if you believe them or not. But what seems like it kind of seems like, are my eyes just playing tricks on me, or is that really like a shadow? You know what I mean, in the corner of the room. But people have claimed to see Miss Winchester walking around the house, and like you can hear her boots like clacking, and you see like a shadow walk by. So anyway,
Sometimes I leave my my pile of clothes in the corner of the room, and I think it's something when I'm half asleep too. So I got it.
yeah, that could be
It's
it.
just super rain.
Be some clothes on the floor of a really old house. From 1886 to 1922, construction never seemed to cease as the original 8-room farmhouse grew into the world's most unusual and sprawling mansion, featuring 24,000 square feet, 10,000 windows, 2,000 doors, 160 rooms, 52 skylights, which, by the way, weren't all on the roof, 47 stairways and fireplaces, 17 chimneys, 13 bathrooms, our favorite number, 6 kitchens, built at a price tag of $5 million in 1923. Anyone want to take a guess what that is today?
30 million?
500.
Actually, I'm gonna say
500
like
million?
10.
Ooh, too high.
Wait.
So we're at $5 million in 1923.
Oh, 1923.
323
I'm gonna say, like,
million.
Still too high.
I'm gonna
You guys
say
are
like
overshooting.
10 million.
So it's 71 million.
Hmm.
I was closer the first time.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, but that's it. So some people claim that the ghosts, the haunting, are the ghosts that were killed by the Winchester rifles. But to me, especially with no like bad spirits, I almost try to say the M word again. With no bad spirits surrounding
She means malevolent.
Yeah, see, that was hard.
No, that's not the hesitation. M and N sound very similar to each other.
What's
So when you said M word, just wanted to clarify.
Oh no! No!
Just
that
putting it out
one.
there.
I mean, you could just like throw the word up on the screen because I don't know how to say it. Since there are no bad spirits, I don't think they're haunted by those who were killed, because I feel like they would want revenge. I think honestly it was by the spirits who loved working, because all the servants loved working for her. She was apparently very nice, maybe a little crazy, but I mean, it was a really big
she was
house.
also
They probably
rich
got
as
paid
fuck.
really well. They just want to hang out in the afterlife and keep working. So kind of what I thought.
So she had no heirs. You know where her money went? Did
She had
like,
nieces and nephews. So it kind of got split up between them. The house itself, they sold. The one niece came in and sold everything inside, like that she could get her hands on.
That's
Including the spider
disgusting.
window.
And then she sold the house like as is. And the people who was
I don't know.
they actually bought it from her. Hold on.
Listen, I'm just gonna say, I'm play devil's advocate here. I'm just gonna say, like, she doesn't strike me as the type of person to be super close to her nieces and nephews.
Yeah.
So,
But like to just go into someone else's house and just sell it all, like
what are you gonna do with it?
That's true. But anyways, she sold the
So
house
you-
to
you're gonna
John
sell it
and
and
Mayhem
sell
Brown. but they took care of it. So John and Marian Brown, they're the ones who actually created the Winchester Investment, which is a privately owned company, and they like created the company, and now they have people touring it and stuff like that. They made it like a landmark. They took care of it. The people
Which
who
is
bought
probably
Did
a
they get any,
conversation
like-
that niece had with that person that she sold it to.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah.
What was your
Maybe.
question?
I feel like, well, did they get like any original pieces back, or no?
I mean, the house itself. So, like, I was watching this other tour. She like brought in so many designs and stuff that went on the walls and ceilings and stuff like that. So, like, they didn't take any of that like off the. They left all the interior stuff. Her room looks pretty well kept. Like they showed that her main room, the seance room and stuff like that. Like, it doesn't look like things were torn off the wall. But I mean, the woman had how many rooms was it? Like
That's true.
160 rooms worth of stuff. So, and the one room was like, so there's one ballroom that literally just has mirrors in it, stained glass. But and they
I
all
would
like face
stay
it.
away
It's
from
so
that.
weird. I think I might have included that picture for all the pictures.
I think you did. I think that was one. I was scrolling down and I was looking at it. There's actually, I don't know if you guys know this, but BuzzFeed has like a Let's Play channel or whatever, and Kelsey and Peach K. Do you guys know her from the
Yeah.
Sims Challenge?
Yeah.
Okay. She and another guy from BuzzFeed actually went and played a scary game in one of the dark hallways at night in the Winchester House. So if you want to check that out, it's pretty cool.
I would absolutely.
So
And we're back. We look a little different because
Some of us, I mean.
well, we took a break and then an emergency came up. And so now we're back a few hours later. Ready
It's
to
10
finish
p.m.
the rest of the stories. The sun has now gone down.
Which means better lighting. Ew.
It does mean better lighting, so there's that.
My lighting is exactly the same. I took off my makeup and eyelashes because fuck you.
Also, your girl got her COVID shot, and my arm is like puffy, so I have my sleeve rolled up. I'm not trying to make a fashion statement with one sleeve rolled and the other one not.
Did someone say fashion?
It just hurts, okay? You can actually see like the lump in my arm. So
lumpy,
that's
lumpy.
where I am right now.
Yeah, stop.
But it's okay.
It's worth it. Okay.
It's like I said. It's like I said at the beginning of this podcast. This is where you podcast. Our spooky series is cursed.
Wow.
The way
I
it
don't
is.
think we caused what happened tonight. I think it was
No.
outside.
No, I'm not saying it.
Our control.
I'm just.
I swear to God, if one of you bitches say we're gonna go retrograde, I'ma slap you.
No, it's
All right,
it's-
drive here and slap me.
Ooh, challenge accepted. Is she gonna do it though?
Please don't.
It's like I have the gas money.
Yeah, right.
Hello, I'm not married.
Venmo me the
Winchester,
gas buddy
bitch.
and bet I will be there.
Yeah, just Venmo the. Oh my gosh, I need to log into my Venmo. I keep meaning to send you money, and I keep forgetting.
I can't. I didn't even realize you didn't send me money. So you probably shouldn't send me money. I forgot you owed me money. So
What money?
exactly. I don't know what you're talking about.
So we finished what story?
9.
Geeter, would you like to go next, or would you like me to go next?
I kind of want you to go now.
Okay.
She did not like that answer.
Yours is shorter, anyways.
Yeah, but it's a lot of words, and it's on the computer this time, which makes it more difficult.
Oh my god. Every single one of mine about a computer, okay? Alright?
Well, some of us struggle harder than others with reading from computer screens. So
Did you not hear the last bisection?
no, because I was too busy focusing on what point I could interrupt you next. So this week, I'm doing my spooky, scary story of Kingseat Hospital in New Zealand. It's just south of Auckland. It operated from 1932 to 1999 when it was closed as part of New Zealand's reform of its mental health system. The sprawling compound at one stage housed over 800 patients, with a maximum security wing and a morgue on site. The construction of the hospital, which derives... Whoa, I didn't look up that word. The construction of the hospital, which derives its name from a hospital in Aberdeenshire, Scotland. Kenny, don't at me. Began in 1929, when 20 patients from a nearby mental health institution were sent to the site equipped with 10 shovels and 12 wheelbarrows. Following a visit to the United Kingdom, Dr. Gray felt that it was a good idea to open a sister hospital in New Zealand. The facility continued to grow, and several new buildings were constructed on the site, including a 2-story nurses' home. Most of the patients were aged between 8 and 16, and they suffered a lot of abuse while they were there, including sexual and physical abuse, as well as electroconvulsive therapy. By the beginning of 1947, there were over 800 patients at the hospital. However, in 1968, a number of nurses at the facility went on strike due to ill treatment and high stress levels. So they were like living on the compound as well as working there. This forced the hospital administration to invite unemployed people and volunteers to assist with hospital grounds with general domestic tasks like mowing the lawn, things like that. Like cleaning, you know. Eventually the dispute with the nurses was resolved and like normal service resumed. Nevertheless, more nurses were said to have died at Kingseat Hospital than patients due to things like suicide from stress.
Wow.
Yeah, because the high stress levels caused by working in such a quote emotionally and physically draining environment. There wasn't enough staff to take care of all of the patients, and that led to a lot of the staff committing suicide.
Damn.
Apparently staff suicide was common on the grounds, and after Kingseat Hospital closed, it was considered a potential site for a new prison because it could house up to 600 inmates. However, it was decided not to redevelop the facility due to the buildings on site being potentially earthquake prone. Since the hospital's closure, more than 200 people, 200 when they were kids, now adult people, came forward to file complaints against the government, claiming they were mistreated in New Zealand's psychiatric institutions during the 1960s and 70s. Many of the complaints, who at the time were aged between, like I said, 18 and 16 years old, said that they were heavily over-medicated, unwillingly subjected to electroshock treatment, placed in isolation for long periods of times, like sometimes months at a time. Since 2000, a large proportion of the hospital.
Words are hard.
Screens are harder. Since 2000, then, a large proportion of the hospital has simply left to decay. The rest of the site is lived in by members of the... I asked Brad how to say this, and I saved it. Hold on. I did ask about this. Oh no, he sent a video. Tanui. We're gonna go with it. The rest of the site is lived in by members of the Tanui tribe.
Yeah, screens are hard. I know. It's okay. You're doing great.
Tanui tribe and other New Zealanders.
Why don't you make the words bigger?
I did already.
It's not about that. It's about, for me, it's about following the lines. Like
for me,
some
it's
reason.
about controlling my fingers scrolling, so I'm not scrolling as I'm trying to read. I get ahead of myself and I'm like, oh, I need to scroll down, but then I haven't finished that sentence yet, and then I scroll and it turns into just a chaotic thing. Fine. Okay. Well, it's less of I lost where I was and more of like, is this relevant? The team at Haunted, so it turned into what's now known as spookers, but there were paranormal investigators that went in to investigate some stuff. The team at Haunted Auckland are not the first to discover the checkered history of the hospital, and new evidence prompted local police to reopen a 36-year-old cold case in 2004 to the death of an 11-year-old boy at the hospital. Clement Matthews, who is reported to have died from pneumonia, but a fellow patient who was 14 at the time, claimed that a nurse beat the boy just hours before his death. Okay, so Clement Matthews is the 11-year-old boy. No. Another patient who was 14 at that time
heard that Clement got.
They claimed that he saw Clement Matthews, the 11-year-old boy, being beat by staff.
Oh, okay.
But he died from pneumonia.
Yeah, exactly. But nobody, like, it was, I don't think this was like no. This wasn't like the disappearance part. I don't know if they found his body or not. I don't know what evidence they found because there's not a whole lot of information out there.
Which makes it even spookier. Like,
yeah, especially with like unsolved cases, there's some stuff that the police keep to themselves.
That's true. So I don't, because this was under like the disappearances section, I don't know if like they just, like he just disappeared and then they found his body and that was the evidence that reopened the case, or what happened.
To me, it sounded like the 14-year-old boy at the time came out and told police like what had actually happened.
Maybe, but like that's literally all the information on it.
That's so weird.
That's all you got. So the last little bit of evidence on this portion was the New Zealand Herald reported that a former patient, Stephen Lindsay, had been traumatized by what he saw at the hospital. And Mr. Lindsay, which I'm assuming is the 14-year-old, but it's not confirmed, he said that he saw a nurse hit the boy after he stole a piece of bread while in line for dinner. So, and then here's another disappearance. So, two deeply troubled 13-year-old boys vanished without a trace from Kingseat in 1967. In separate incidents, Bruce Mitchell and Kelly Hayden Collins allegedly wandered out of the hospital and were presumed dead by drowning in a nearby, like, harbor. No, we're not gonna try and name the harbor because we're just not. Because
it's okay, it's just a harbor.
Harbor nearby.
A nearby harbor. Maybe if this was like 5 hours ago, I would have the energy to try. I don't know. I have spaghetti sitting in front of me, so I really just want to get this.
So wait, side, is this better or worse to do it first thing in the morning?
Yes.
Well,
I
think today's just been a shit show of
Don't
shit.
make me choose between two evils because I won't do it. I will choose wrong every time. If I possibly can.
I was just curious. Like, doing it the first thing in the morning was rough.
I don't know, because at least in the morning I have coffee, but I mean I have spaghetti. So.
That's true. That's a great motivator.
That is a great motivator.
Spaghetti, the great motivator.
Is it sassy spaghetti?
Huh?
Heck yeah.
Is it sassy spaghetti?
Sassy spaghetti?
Yeah. Whenever we get super sassy at each other, we say we eat sassy spaghetti because one time Tim made me spaghetti and I came back and I was a bitch.
To me. So I was like, wow, Tim must have put some sass in your spaghetti.
So we call it sassy spaghetti.
I feel like this is a conversation that either happened without me or that I just genuinely don't remember.
I feel like we've told you about it before.
Yeah.
I don't think you were there when it happened.
Yeah, I don't think you were there.
You bitches talking behind my back?
Yep.
You guys being friends without me? How dare you? Also, like, maybe invite me for everyone's sassy spaghetti.
I just told you about it! Extra sassy.
Okay. So, Bruce Mitchell and Kelly Hayden Collins of allegedly wandered out of the hospital and were presumed dead by drowning in a nearby harbor. Police claim to have found footprints leading into the water in the case of Mitchell, and the only evidence found of Collins was a shoe in a paddock nearby. But neither body was ever found. Mitchell's siblings believe that foul play may have been a factor in their brother's disappearance and that he was being physically abused. He probably was. Just based off of the minuscule amount of evidence that I have before me. His brother John Mitchell said every time we went to see him, he was covered in bruises. We were sure he was being beaten, but we were always told by the hospital staff that he had walked into a door. I think something happened to him. I'm not a suspicious person by nature, but I do believe something happened to my brother. According to the New Zealand Herald, a coroner's hearing into Mitchell's death was never carried out, and there was no record of his death.
So this was just like a mental institution for children, right?
Basically. It was like a psychiatric facility for kids. But adults were allowed to be there. It wasn't like only for kids, but it just so happened that it was mostly kids. From what I could find.
Were people sending their kids to this place?
Oh,
You know,
they probably
I
didn't
don't
realize
know.
it was that bad. And, you know, some psychiatric centers, I'm not saying they're that bad here, but they're not great here. Like, there's some bad ones in the US
No.
too. It's like, why do people send it? Well, first of all, they're inexpensive, and some people can't control their children. I mean, not saying you can't control your children, but some children are just too much. Like, don't have the capabilities to handle.
Yeah.
They need extra love and attention. We're
not
probably
gonna-
sending them there.
They're not gonna get that.
No, but I think that, like, especially in the 60s and 70s,
Yeah.
just universally, it was, like, seen as if your child was troubled or if your wife was troubled, just shoo fly.
Send them off.
Ship them off,
Just
yeah.
bye-bye.
They didn't
you
really
know.
care back then.
That's not going to make sense for the viewers that weren't watching the stream, so that's what I was doing. Okay. I'm really good at this
You
podcasting.
still didn't explain it.
Just did it again.
I'm saying,
Um,
look at the screen.
Look at the screen now. She's gonna do it.
His sister Judy questioned why there was no further investigation into her brother's death, given the suspicious and disturbing circumstances surrounding it. And that's the amount of evidence we have there. So there are hauntings, with over 100 reported ghost sightings at Kingseat Hospital. The most prevalent is the gray nurse, who took his own life and now apparently dwells in the old nurses' quarters. Interestingly, it's the nursing arena that seems to have provided fertile ground for ghost hunting at Kingseat. I forgot that ghost hunting and not haunting. It's fine. Footage shows that paranormal investigators of haunted Auckland, supposedly communing with a ghost named Alexis Jackson, a nurse who continues to look after patients at the hospital. And during a visit to a former nurse's house, another team member claimed to have felt dizzy and nauseous when she touched a bathtub. Climbing in, she sensed something terrible happened.
I'm sorry.
Why would you climb in?
I'm sorry. You touch
Why
a
would you ever
bathtub
climb
and
in?
get dizzy. Why would you climb in?
Like, you're like, oh, here, touch me. I guess that's consent at that point.
I mean, if you touch a bathtub and you get a weird feeling,
And you're gonna hop in. You're asking for it at that. I mean,
honestly, just grab a blanket and a pillow and camp out, my guy.
Yeah, okay, yep.
Now, you might as well. I had to do that one time because my parents were snoring so loud. We were sharing a hotel room and they were snoring so loud that I literally grabbed a
I don't share a room
pillow
with my
and a
parents
blanket
anymore.
and I went into the bathtub. And I didn't sleep.
Well, it's gonna
so.
suck when we share
Which-
a cabin next summer then. I snore very loudly.
Also, the gray lady, we learned that's an intelligent haunting. No, that's a residual haunting. Because they're stuck
They're
on a
all
loop.
stupid.
Yeah. Yeah. Residual. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Definitely types of haunting.
So,
Yes.
well, it is. Okay, anyway.
We done?
Yeah.
Is this
Are
like
you
the
done?
right shoe in the other foot? I kind of like being interrupted. I'm not
Yeah,
gonna
except
lie.
you do it worse. But
Okay. So, we're about to get into the terrible things she experienced. Are you ready?
No.
So, climbing in, she sensed something terrible had happened. Quote, I closed my eyes and saw a bit clearer a picture of a woman being pushed under the water. She said, I saw her arms and legs threshing in the bathtub. I could see a hand and arm pushing her under the water, drowning her. According to Haunted Auckland, staff at Spookers, which we'll get into, have been creeped out by quote-unquote object manipulation and chilly spots. And at the Kingseat Villas, there's been some serious poltergeist activity with reports of shaking cupboards, tapping on windows, self-operating toilets and taps, moving furniture, voices have been heard, sulfur smelled, shadowy figures seen. Meanwhile, TV show Ghost Hunter features footage of an unplugged dentist chair turning itself on. And claims have been captured, claims to have captured the shape of a ghost face in a shower stall. But whether you believe in the supernatural or not, it's undeniable the walls of Kingseat Hospital has seen real horror unimaginable to many of us. So, Spookers is the horror amusement park that Kingseat Hospital now is. You can take tours of the hospital and the grounds. Be chased by scary clowns because they
Nope.
hire actors
yeah, no,
to come
that's
chase
not
you.
for me. I
I
don't
wanna
do
go.
clowns.
I want to go.
Okay,
Can
well,
we go?
Bye.
Bye. You want to go with me? We'll go. Make a whole thing out of it. I want to go so bad. I want to go and scare the piss out of the people who are acting. How fun would that be?
Okay. So was that your whole story?
I'm tired.
Okay.
Doing
My
great.
turn. I'm full of energy. Let's go. So I know on the Discord chat I had stated that I was going to do a haunted ship, but I decided to switch things up a little bit. As you might say, Jerry inspired me a little bit. And I
Don't you put that
decided
evil on me. I don't know what you're coming up with. You guys, we're in this together.
I decided to do urban legends. I did
Ooh.
3 urban legends, one from each of our states that we currently live in.
Oh, that's cool.
Yes.
I like
I'm
that.
super excited. I wanted you guys to not be able to sleep
wait.
tonight. You're welcome. Like,
That's
I
so
wasn't able
cool.
to sleep last night.
Am I supposed to act like you didn't tell me earlier? Genuine question.
I would assume so.
You
Oh
don't
my god,
have to-
that's amazing.
You're a
That's so
horrible
cool. I'm so
actress.
excited. That's actually how I would act.
Oh.
Hello. Say it again. Say it again. Roll the tape back. Say it
Yeah,
again.
yeah, do it again. Do it again.
Do
Do it again!
Okay, so I'm super excited. This week I'm doing something different. As you would say, I kind of got inspired by Jerry, by her doing different things other than haunted houses. So I decided to do spooky urban legend. And I did
Ooh.
3 of them, one from each of the states that we currently live in.
Oh, that's so cool.
Cool.
Yeah, so
Hold on. Pause.
You stole my line! You stole my line! That was my line!
I'm leaving all of this in, just letting you know.
That's how good at acting I am.
Anyways, so let's start with the first urban legend. I started with myself because, you know, it's whatever.
I love it.
So Kentucky.
Wait, you're from Kentucky?
I decided to do the Pope. I don't understand this name, but the Pope Lick Monster.
What? Wait. I'm gonna say that again.
The Pope Lick Monster.
Is it Pope Lick Monster?
It's separate words. Pope Lick Monster. Pope
Then
space lick space.
has the
Monster.
Pope ever been to your state? Because I can understand why he wouldn't want to go there.
Otherwise, wait. Otherwise known as
Oh, it gets better?
the Goat Man of Pope Lick.
I have to do it
Pope
to
Lick.
him.
So
have
Pope
to
Lick
do it
is the
to him.
town.
I'm dancing
Or
on your bridge,
area.
man. Okay.
Dancing on your. It is a creek. It is a creek called Pope Lick Creek.
Okay.
Ew.
So, he is a legendary part man, part goat, sometimes part sheep, monster who is said to live beneath or around a trestle bridge over Pope Lick Creek near
What is
Louisville,
the Goat
Kentucky.
Man?
I really need you to stop enunciating that so just
Pope Lick.
I want you guys to understand
Pope
what I'm saying.
Lick. We get it.
Boy, no. Can we just call it the
so-
PLC? Hey,
So although the trestle bridge is very old, dating back to the early 1800s, it is still very much in use today. Like there's freight trains that go across it daily, multiple times a day.
Choo-choo.
Yeah.
well, bridges are expensive. What can I say?
Also, I'm pretty sure I state this later on, but I'm just gonna get it out of the way. So it's basically just like, I don't know if you guys know what a trestle bridge is, but it's literally, I swear to God, it's always during my stories. Does this mean I'm a boring person?
No.
Because I listen to your stories with full attention.
No.
And
I listened to your story. I knew everything you just said. I was just trying to make her show her food. That's all I was doing. Okay. I will sit here and not say another word.
As long as my mouth is full, I'm not interrupting as much, to be fair.
That's true.
To be fair. All right,
Maybe.
so I don't know if you guys know what a trestle bridge is, but it's basically just a straight up rail bridge. There's no walkways along it. It's literally just the bridge, the rail track across it, and that's it.
Oh, that makes sense. Oh, like in Aristocrats when they're running across and then they jump in the water. It was a trestle bridge. Because there's what?
I'm sorry, I have to do this while I'm chipmunking. You come to me on the day of Sister's wedding. Alright, moving on.
Okay. So, it's in very much use. Multiple trains daily go across this bridge. It is part of the Norfolk Southern Railway, and despite having an 8-foot fence and many no trespassing signs, there have been many deaths and accidents at the bridge due to people trying to find the goat man, trying to see the goat man.
Goat man.
It is said that if you walk across the trestle bridge, like you make it all the way across, he appears or something. But the origins of the goat man differ. But some say he was exhibited as a circus freak in the late 19th century and he escaped captivity when lightning struck the circus train, leaving him the sole survivor. Or another story is that the circus train derailed and he escaped and lived on the trestle bridge.
Damn.
Another origin story is that the goat man arose as a tale of a local farmer back in the day. He would torture his herd of goats and sheep for Satan and he signed a contract with him and forfeited his soul to Satan, and eventually turning into the Goat Man.
Yeah, I don't like Goatmen in general. Like the whole. Sorry. That's what some people say. The devil looks like.
Goat Woman. Either
Cut it so like she's there, and all of a sudden she's wearing that.
yeah. Either way, in every telling of the Goatman story, he remains fiercely attached to the trestle bridge over Popelet Creek. So, as with his origin stories, there are many different stories on how he claims his victim. Yes.
So Satan and the Pope do have something in common. Anyways.
Fuck
you guys, I thought it was funny. You're no fun.
So as with his origin stories, there are many different ways of how he claims his victims. According to some accounts, the creature uses hypnosis or voice mimicry, almost like a siren, to like call to lure trespassers onto the trestle bridge and meet their death before an oncoming train. So basically, he lures them onto the bridge, and then they turn around and there's a train, and well, bam.
There's another paranormal thing that's supposed to mimic like that too, right?
Might be
It's like a banshee or something.
Oh yeah, I think.
I think
so.
banshees are supposed to be like that kind of like
luring.
boogity boogity.
Yeah.
Boogity.
Yeah. Because, like I said earlier, once you get on the trestle bridge, there is nowhere to go. If a train is coming, you either have to run to the other end before you get hit by the train, or jump, like, it's 8 stories high, so jump 100 some feet to the ground, or as some have done, cling to the side of the bridge as the train passes.
Interesting.
Which I'll get into. There was one couple who was visiting from Ohio. They took a tour of Waverly Hills Sanatorium, which is, I guess, a haunted sanatorium that you can do. And while they were going to get dinner or something, they heard of the legend of the Goat Man, and they're like, oh, we're here for spooky things. Let's go check it out. So they went to the bridge and began walking across it, and before they knew it, a train was barreling down on them. Unable to outrun the train, the male did everything in his power to, like I said, go over the side and like cling to the side of the bridge as the train passed. Unfortunately for his partner, she was not fast enough. The train hit her and she fell the some 100 feet to the ground. She was pronounced dead at the scene. So I don't know if she died on impact, died from the fall. It just said she was pronounced dead at the scene. Either way, she wasn't the first.
We're having different reactions to that.
Jerry. No. Unfortunately, this was not the first death to occur on the bridge, and it definitely would not be the last. Other stories claim the monster jumps down from the trestle bridge onto the roofs of passing cars. And yet other legends tell that it attacks its victims with a blood-stained axe. Or that the very sight of the creature is so unsettling that those who see it while walking across the high trestle will be driven to just leap off the side. There have been around 7 deaths that I could account for associated with the trestle, with the latest being a 15-year-old in 2019.
That's
Yeah.
really recent.
That's unfortunate.
15?
It was
Damn.
probably like a dare or something. Good.
There was
Kids these
actually
days.
one death associated with a man. His ATV. I don't know why he had an ATV on the bridge, but he had an ATV on the bridge. It flipped and he got pinned underneath the ATV, and the train came in. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yikes.
And that's the Goatman of Kentucky.
Goatman!
Goatman.
Goatman!
Hopefully.
What if the goat man is just like a super lonely, like spiritual, like hobo that's just wanting to go ask attractive people for their number, and they just like see him and just leap off the bridge? Can you imagine what a blow to the ego that would be?
Mhm.
Like you went to go like talk to somebody and they're like, I would nope.
But yeah, there's a lot more injuries and incidences and close calls and yeah, just a lot of people going to a bridge that they shouldn't be going to because it's very, very much in use still. Like the railroad.
Don't be dumb.
The railroad companies like has like signs of fence. Like they're trying everything in their power to keep people from coming to this bridge. And
So
there was like the article about the couple that I was reading that I got that information from, the company was like, well, we hope this doesn't lure more people in because of how much attention that it's getting and stuff. But yes, that's the Goatman.
So when are we going?
It's in Louisville. Do you know how close Louisville is? It's very close.
So the next time I come over.
It's illegal. Also, you'll get arrested because it's no
Right.
It's private property. It's, you know.
Bitch, you have not grown up in Oklahoma. Trespassing signs, bitch, please. We don't care.
Speaking of Oklahoma.
But the wind comes sweeping down the plain.
Have you heard of Beaver Dunes Park?
Where is that?
In Beaver, Oklahoma.
Makes sense. We're real creative here. No.
Beaver Dunes Park is also known as Oklahoma's Bermuda Triangle.
Of course we would have that because we also have a Miami and a Disney. Anyways.
Beaver Dunes Park is also known as Oklahoma Bermuda Triangle. It is also goes by the Shaman's Portal, but I didn't really want to use that because it's associated with the natives there, and I don't know if they call it that or if the white people call it that, so I just kind of like didn't want to use it, but just so you're aware that it's also called that online. But I'd rather call it the Dunes Park or the Bermuda Triangle of Oklahoma.
I like Bermuda Triangle.
It is called that due to the strange disappearance that have occurred there over the years. Beaver Dunes Park is located in Beaver, Oklahoma. It is situated on over 300 acres of sand hills in an area known as No Man's Land. It was a state park, but it closed due to insufficient funds. I think it closed, around the 2014 area, but I didn't write down the year. It's fine. The park's paranormal history, though, dates back to the 1500s. It is said that men traveling with the explorer Coronado, probably said that wrong, it's fine, disappeared from the dunes in paranormal flashes of green lightning. The natives tried warning Coronado about the perils of the dunes as they have been avoiding the area for centuries. So basically, Coronado was an explorer. I think he started in Colorado. He went down through Oklahoma all the way down to New Mexico, basically in search of gold. Of course. Of course, he never found the gold. But yeah, so he basically just traveled through the area. And he was warned not to travel through that specific area, and he did it anyways, and a bunch of his men disappeared in a green flash.
I've read Outlander. I know what's happening.
He supposedly lost several men in an instant because he didn't heed their warning. Apparently, he recorded all this in his journal, but it wasn't revealed until centuries later. And I could have investigated more into like that situation, but that was a lot of reading that I didn't want to bother doing. So, and it's not really pertinent to the story. So yeah. Over the years, many more lives have been lost in the sand dunes without explanation. Many theories exist on what is causing these disappearances and flashes of green lights. One theory is that it is the location of a UFO crash site.
Oh my goodness.
What I've never guessed.
Oh yeah.
Visitors who had camped in the park have reported seeing military-looking people digging in the night, or men in black. In the 90s, an archaeologist, Dr. Mark Thatcher, is said to have spent 3 years studying the area until he was apparently shut down by these men in black or military type people.
Here come the men in black.
Galaxy Defenders.
Thank you.
Well, my question is like, military men in black suits, very different.
But it's like, it was said that they were like military looking like people, right? But acted like men in black, basically.
I'm a
Come
military
take
people.
all your shit and leave.
I bet they didn't look like me. Unless they were aliens. They might have the same hair.
Do you not believe in aliens either?
No.
You're telling me you really think we're the only people in our universe, not even our universe, because you know there's like a bajillion other universes.
I mean, I would be more inclined to believe in aliens,
And
but
ghosts.
still not super like
But like, there are
convinced.
billions of other galaxies. There's no way we're the only sentient human
What
or
the
not beings.
much? It was Einstein that said either we're alone in the universe or we're not, and either one of those options is just as scary. So
Oh,
Oh, that is a really nice quote.
it's not accurate. Can we please put up on the screen what the actual quote was? And if it was actually by Einstein, because I don't remember if it was him or somebody else.
Oh my
you.
god, wait, now I want to look it up. Hold on. Alright, continue.
All right. There was also another team who supposedly took a number of geological samples and found strange abnormalities. And I didn't bother writing those down because I didn't really care. Something about electromagnetic bullshit. I don't know. It's whatever.
Oh, but when electromagnetic bullshit is applied to ghosts, all of a sudden it's the fucking meat and potatoes of the whole investigation. Okay, cool. Whatever.
It matters then.
Priorities. I'm telling you.
It's a dirt. If you don't want it, give it back.
All this has led to some
sense.
to believe that an ancient alien spacecraft lies buried beneath the dune.
Yeah,
Find
aliens
it.
in your state.
Another
it's
theory.
Oklahoma. Not surprised.
Another theory is that that the area is a portal to another dimension. And it's also theorized that like it has something to do with like Native American magic or something like that. That's why it's like, I don't know. I didn't really like look into that part either because I don't want to speak on something that I don't really understand. So,
I mean, if there's one thing that like one thing that Oklahoma could be, if like the entire world is a house, right? Oklahoma would just be a door.
just
What
be a
it
door.
would be. So
it is also said that it may be a native burial ground, and we all know what happens when you disturb Native American burial ground. So, although it is said that there are many disappearances related to this area, there is no actual evidence of these disappearances being connected to the dunes. That's all the information I have on it. That's all the information that's on the internet. It's a very mysterious
Fun.
area that Men in Black, I guess, dig around
Okay,
in the
Google.
dirt.
How far am I from Beaver, Oklahoma?
Okay, but first you'll have to unlock your device.
Do you want the world knowing that? I mean, I guess they can't really
Beaver is
triangulate your...
230 miles away from your current location by car.
Oh, okay, I know where it's at. 4 hours away.
That seems a bit hefty to see the Men in Black, but you know, it could be worth it.
But like, price switch?
House switch. Which brings me to my last urban legend, coming from New York. The legend.
New York.
Legend
I was gonna go with Frank Sinatra.
of Cropsey. I want to say Corpsey, but that's not it. It's Cropsey.
Choke me like you hate me.
But you love me, look, you wanna date me.
Copyrighted.
My mom watching.
Copyright for that? Come on. It wasn't even the right
When
key.
we read the Bible. And then we totally read the Bible.
Okay, so Cropsey.
Cropsey is basically the boogeyman of Staten Island.
Ooh, interesting. Okay.
Ooh.
I immediately, night before Christmas, just immediately. So
Cropsey was rumored to be a homicidal madman and an escape mental patient with a hook for a hand. It is said he hunted children and dragged them back to the tunnel system under the abandoned like hospital on the island or whatever. So parents would use this legend of Cropsey to frighten their children into being good.
Yep.
it's nothing like a good old dose of Stockholm syndrome.
And of course, older siblings would tell Cropsey stories to terrify their younger siblings. You know how it is, and it was told at campfires. You know how it is. It's an urban legend. There is also a summer camp variation of the tale, which inspired the 1981 slasher movie The Burning. So I figured
wow.
Jerry would probably want to watch that.
I was thinking about getting a subscription to Shudder.
Of course you were. But in the 1980s, the legend of Cropsey seemed to come to life with an actual real string of mysterious children murders. Child murderers. Not
Yeah.
murderers.
Children were murdered.
We understand it's Cropsey, not Children of the Corn. We get it.
So for a little bit of context, we're gonna go back a little bit. There was a kind of actually randomness. There was a state school, like in Jerry's story, about, well, this one wasn't a mental hospital, but it was for a hospital with a state school / like hospital for children with special needs. Unfortunately, there was a lot not unfortunately this was not a very good place. And there was a lot of mistreatment. Also, it was said that parents would just like abandon the kids there, and like foster care systems would like take over, but yeah,
What year?
it was bad.
What year?
What year was this?
It was around the same time as Jerry's, like 60s, 70s ish. Yeah.
Yeah.
It took a long time to try and shut the place down. Like around the I didn't write any dates down. It was around like this late 70s that they tried shutting them down, but it would take another 10 years to actually discharge all the patients that were there.
Damn.
Yeah.
Can you imagine being R&R in that instance? Dude. What's that?
So where the legend of Crosby comes to life, and also like how these two stories blend together, there was a man named Andre Rand who was a janitor for this establishment. At some point, he left his job at Willbrook, which was the name of the school, but he didn't leave the grounds, which means he basically set up a campsite somewhere on the grounds, and that's where he lived.
Okay.
Once the buildings and stuff were abandoned, it basically became like a hot spot for homeless people and vagrants and stuff like that. So Andre Rand, is suspected of like these child murders. Only one body was ever found on the Willowbrook grounds, a 12-year-old girl, and I am not saying any of their names because they're all underage. Rand was convicted of her kidnapping, but there was never enough evidence to convict him of the murder. But Rand was tied to at least 3 other disappearances: a 5-year-old girl, a 7-year-old girl, and an 11-year-old girl, all of whom their bodies were never found. Yeah.
Ugh.
He has never talked, like never confessed or anything. He would be cooperative with like the police reporters and stuff, but as soon as they came to come visit him in the facility he was being held in, he would turn them away. So basically reeling them in and then taking them away. He was also charged with kidnapping of the 7-year-old girl and convicted. So he was convicted of 2 kidnappings of the 4 girls, but never of the murders. So basically he was a serial killer without ever being convicted of murder, because they don't have the bodies. They've never found them.
Jesus. Where was this at?
This is in Staten Island, New York.
Yeah.
New York.
New York. New York.
So even like I said, Rand wasn't the only one living on the grounds. It was a bunch of homeless people and stuff. So they don't know for sure that it was him. It honestly could have been like any of the homeless people that were there, or vagrants, or like whoever was there. These little girls weren't like taken from the hospital. They were actually taken from their homes of their families that they lived in.
Interesting.
So yeah. So, although the mystery surrounding the missing children of Staten Island didn't invent the Cropsey legend, it just added more fuel to the horrible legend. So, it literally made the legend come to life, which I thought was really interesting. And I wasn't expecting that when I started researching Cropsey. I was just expecting, like, you know, this legend of a scary boogeyman, and it turned into a lot more than I was ready for.
Yeah.
The last thing I had to say is, unfortunately, there is a more updated version of the legend that is more widespread, or should I say, more wide web spread. Anybody guess?
Spider-Man!
You say Spider-Man?
Maybe.
It kind of sounds like Candyman. What it sounds like.
Wait, say what you said again.
And unfortunately, there is a more updated version of the legend that is more widespread, or should I say, wide web spread.
Oh.
I have no idea.
World Wide Web, the interwebs, internet, and the truck road killer.
Truck road killer?
Don't fuck with cats.
Don't. Slenderman! Slenderman! Slenderman.
How the fuck did you get that? Oh.
That's what Slenderman is. He's literally, he's like a boogeyman from the internet that kills children.
Oh, really?
I don't know if I knew
Oh
that.
my god. I love you guys.
Did you ever watch the Slenderman movie?
No.
I'm pretty sure the entire theater hate me. But
I'm super curious though. What other like things were there?
For what?
Like what
Just, like,
other?
ones you ran across, like,
Yeah.
into research.
Oh, well, okay, so Oklahoma has a crybaby bridge. There's literally a bridge that if you sit on it in the dead of night, you can hear babies crying or women screaming. Apparently, in like the 1800s, a woman was traveling with her newborn across the bridge, and something happened to where the carriage flipped over and the baby went tumbling into the water, and the woman went to the edge of the bridge to see her baby and ended up falling in and never being seen again. And therefore, yeah, the crybaby bridge. That was interesting.
Also, I just want to point out, can we just take a second to appreciate the diversity in the stories that Skeeter came up with tonight? Because she covered ghosts, aliens, and a serial killer, potentially,
Yeah.
allegedly.
Supposedly.
So, I was gonna give you shit because I got aliens and she got fucking a serial killer, but then I was like, but then she got ghosts, so she's multifaceted. She's talented, bitch.
So basically, I went down like lists of like what's the creepiest urban legends in each state, and New York kept coming up Cropsey. Oklahoma kept up coming Shaman Portal. I didn't want to do that one because, you know, the whole Shaman Portal part of it, but I was able to find articles where it doesn't mention the whole Shaman stuffs.
Yeah. Well, and the
So-
thing is you could just use the other name anyway.
Yeah. In New York, there was something about like mutated rats from Hurricane it starts with a Sandy, Hurricane Sandy.
Sandy.
There was like rats, sewer alligators
real.
in New York. I thought that one was
Those
a
are a
little
thing.
outlandish.
No, those are a thing.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are.
Uh-oh.
They eat the rats.
Liberty Island's buried treasure. I thought that was... Yeah, because for Oklahoma, I was going to do like the baby bridge thing, but that's literally all it is. It's a baby fell in the water, a woman fell in the water. You can hear them screaming in the dead of night. Apparently Bigfoot is in Oklahoma.
Bigfoot's everywhere, man.
There's a magnetic hill. That wasn't interesting. The Purple Church, which is just a concrete underground cellar that was below an old church, apparently. And the purple comes from purple satanic marking on it. I don't know. It wasn't interesting.
You mean a storm cellar? For the Terminators?
But yeah. And then
Maybe.
for Kentucky, I didn't even look further than Goatman. I didn't, honestly. I was
Oh
like,
my
Goatman
gosh.
in Kentucky? Yes, please. Let me
Listen.
tell this story.
Today was chaos.
It was.
It
For
was
all of
chaos.
us in different ways.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
But yeah, I had a
I was
lot
gonna
of
try and deny it.
I had a lot of fun researching those. That was pretty fun.
Anyways.
Okay.
Anyways, that wraps up our 4th episode. As chaotic and cursed as our series is, we're pushing through it. We're making it through. We're
Woo!
making it work. It's a lot of fun. We hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please hit the like button, the subscribe button, share with all your friends, even people who aren't your friends. That'd be great.
Make business cards. Drop business cards on the subway.
Hit
on
the alerts
trains.
button so you get notified every time
You
one
know.
goes live.
Yeah.
Break into a prison. Give it to the prisoner via handshake.
Don't listen to Jerry.
It's just marketing, man.
And we hope you have a wonderful date, night, evening, whenever you'll see this. And bye-bye.
Go out there and be mediocre. I'm dead.
Yeah.